James and also the Brink, and we are one community. Today, we're going to be talking about the Steam Deck, getting a new exciting feature that I think people have wanted for a while, and it's been incremental. We've had similar updates, but this one's a special one. Might not be like a lot to talk about, but we can sure dive into that. And then, of course, we've got GTA 6 devs being, union busting and some other stuff that's just kind of fun for the week. And as always, let me get my chat going. As always, we'll wait just a few more minutes for people to trickle on in. And if you have anything you want to talk about with the stream, with chat, you can just post it in our Discord or in the comments. Just let me know what the title is and I'll look for it. Right now, we have about 6 or 7 topics to talk about. So let me just get in here. Lomki, welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me just do a quick. Another quick announcement. Give me a second. How you doing, Lomki? Okay. Oh, geez. The comments just popped in. BT Maverick, welcome, welcome, welcome. Man, it cuts out your name. Then Raichi, Gabe Newell here, something you wanted forever. Meanwhile, the Xbox 360 background downloads since 2005. How is everyone going? How are you doing? The Xbox 360 background download since 2005. What does that mean, Raichi? You might need to expand on that. PS Portal, no console needed with their Steam stream your own games. Yes, BT Maverick. I do actually have that on the list of stuff we're going to talk about. Because I'm curious which direction we're going to be going with the PlayStation Portal. I honestly think they could be pushing to not have another physical, like localized game on a portable PlayStation, but we'll see. Cascader, I switched to Linux with CashioOS. Let's look that up. I'll throw that in. How you doing, Cascader? Interesting. And then yeah, let's just dive into this. Let me get screen sharing up and going. Don't mind me. Come on, share screen window. Bam. Here's Cashy OS. Lomkey, I know you're going to get on the topic with this download Steam Deck going, ask a question about it. Okay, sounds good. Go ahead. We're going to start going into it now. So, Steam Deck gets a heavily requested feature. I asked Susanna to help me with these news items. So, Susie. And so, Game Rant is the what place that she goes to, apparently. So, just if you have a note of, I don't fully endorse this website, this is just where she got stuff. Okay. Let's continue. Valve has added a new feature to the Steam Deck, allowing owners to download games with screen off. While the option is brand new, Steam Deck enthusiasts have been asking for this ability for a very long time. They've been wanting it since day one. Let's be honest. And so that's a good thing. Let me change my layout, maybe. Yeah. Very long time, and it's been since essentially day one. It's a console feature that people have really liked. I think that's been existent since either like the 360 era or like the PS4 era. The Steam, you like how I go with that because I think the PS or the Xbox 360 was great first time. The Xbox One, just confusing. The Steam Deck has been a major success for Valve, and arguably, let's zoom this in so you guys can see it better. Arguably changed the landscape for PC gaming, ushering in new wave of competing handhelds like Lenovo Legion Go, blah, 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 blah. On November 4th, Valve announced the Steam Decks are getting Steam Decks are getting a new feature called Display Off Download. Steam Decks in the beta and preview channels can now complete any active downloads with the display turned off, allowing the device to save energy as it gradually downloads and updates or installs titles. The new features on by default when a Steam Deck is plugged in, with the option to also enable it for battery power mode through the system settings. If the handheld gaming console is left idle for long enough and has active downloads, it will automatically power down the screen and go into low power download mode. Users can also trigger it themselves by pushing the power button and selecting the option to continue downloading with the screen off. Um, who here has tried this out? Curious. Let's see if I can answer the question, or if the question you're going to answer yourself. The question is from Lomki. You, as as knowing how much work to programming something like this with the low power download with Steam Deck, why you think it took so long? Priorities, 100% priorities. Uh, and I don't, I don't think. Um, so here's the problem, Lumkey. Part of the problem with like the downloading in the background, doing stuff where you're trying to limit background noise while you're also doing that, because like with Windows, with full operating systems, you have a lot of background processes going on. Where in a console, you don't have as many, and it's very easy to control console. They own pretty much any background process. It is very much like a nitpick added to the operating system for a console. So you can think of PS5, Xbox Series X, past consoles that have been able to do this. It does not require them a lot of effort to be able to manage the game or background processes. They know what they can sleep and what they like can essentially sleep, like turn off while low power mode downloads. Plus, they're plugged in, so it's a little different. Um, Steam Deck being a portable device, plus on top of it using a modified Linux desktop distro, because you still have a desktop mode, but you boot into game mode where there's less processes, but it's still not really designed for, I would say, portable gaming fully. So that's probably a big portion of what took them so long to do this, was that they needed to be able to um respectively uh like um cache, or shut down certain background processes during low power mode, and plus shut down the screen, everything else. That's, I think, ultimately, uh yeah, it is what took them so long. There's a lot of little edge cases. That being said, Valve could have done this in 2 weeks if they really applied the like if they paid for the workforce for this. Like if they added more developers, they could have, like, there's one saying in development and a lot of things. You can have too many cooks in the kitchen. You can have, or like the Mythical Man Month, which is a book in programming. You can't. It's similar, but not quite one to one. But it mentions you cannot have like 9 women make a baby in 1 month, and they try to parallelize that a little bit with, you cannot have 9 developers increase the development that would take, let's say, 9 months to 1 month. It just, you can't, throwing another body in it does not decrease the time to development by 50%. That being said, they have a really small development team, and on top of that, some of it's also open source, meaning like the outside side contributors. But they probably could have bumped up a couple more people into the team, and probably could have got this out years earlier. It just was not prioritized. And they probably are working on harder things before this, and so there's a lot of complexities. And so without knowing more on exactly what they were doing, that's why it took so long. I know, maybe a roundabout way of saying that. Chalice, welcome, welcome, welcome. Longkey. BT Maverick, will the Steam Deck cook inside the case with the low power mode if it's downloading a new Diablo patch? It's not supposed to. So low power mode is going to make it so that it's running lower TDP. Now that being said, um, you can still, while downloading and unpacking and all that, you can still utilize a lot of CPU. And You don't really use GPU, but you use CPU and RAM. It could increase the heat to where they'd have to turn on the fan. That being said, they should be managing the TDP, meaning keeping it low, and then keeping, and they can also monitor the CPU to where they reduce the CPU usage, whatever they need to do. So TDP, CPU, to prevent that overheating. That being said, I don't know if I'd recommend it at this point. I'd probably give it a few months until it's totally flushed out and in a stable release, because right now it is in beta and in the dev channels. So, and well, I don't know if I'd go around trusting it right now, is what I'm trying to say. Uh, but you could always try it and let us know how it is. I can pretty much tell you that it's probably, even if it does turn on the fan, it probably won't burn anything out. Usually there's fail safes and everything, but yeah, you can heat up that battery and make it balloon faster. The battery is probably the biggest problem. It doesn't have as much of a safe as a cutoff as the CPU or the APU that is. So, um, Lomkey. So it is another mini OS on top of SteamOS, like a mini OS mode. No, not really. Lomkey. It is. You can think of the so like the consoles. They have their own version, like when like Xbox has its own heavily stripped down version of Microsoft Windows. The PlayStation is just fully a Linux distro that they've heavily modified, and they've been doing it for decades. The Steam OS is its own version of Arc, which Arc is just designed to be pieced together. Like you're meant to be like, I get this base, and then I piece it together, make my own distro. And so from there, Steam OS is just a flavor of Arc with big picture mode, meaning it will launch into that as like a full blown application, and a lot of background processes won't be loaded with it. Is essentially what they're doing. Xbox, I mean, I would even question why it took Xbox so long to create a full screen Windows mode. They should have been able to do that in like 6 months. But you know, whatever, I guess. They really waited a long time to get into the game on that. SteamOS, this is also one of those ones that where I bet you there was something tricky in it, and I'd like to hear more from the developers on this. But I 100% think they could have done this much sooner. The good side of all this is that every incremental change that they make to this, it is going to make the Steam Deck 2 and future iterations that much better. So when you get the Steam Deck 2, all these should stack with it. They're not going, I really don't think they're going to dump the operating system. I think they're just going to continue supporting the same operating system and continually give us new features and everything. So that is good news. Drivers also play a role in some of this too. Let's just go through some more of the chat. Raichi, can they make an update to double the RAM? Yes, they can, Raichi. No, they can't. They can make the RAM more efficient. Download the game while docking, that way the display stays off. Yeah, you can dock, you can do a lot of different things. I think it's more for the people that play certain games that get updated often, like online games. I can tell you I don't have too many issues with this because I don't play a lot of online games, but when I do play online games, even on my main PC, I don't boot it up every day. I boot it up probably once or twice a week. But when I go into Steam and I'm ready to go play like Helldivers 2 with friends, I don't do it very often, but when I do, there's always an update. It is really frustrating. So having like the feature to auto download while it's in low power is nice. And this is going to be incremental. I'm sure they're going to keep on making this feature improved. Lomkey talking about the RAM some more. Uh, Gardner, welcome, welcome, welcome. How you doing, man? Dude, it's great news. It is great news. I agree. Glad to see you here, Gardner. Microsoft had trouble with the UI of Windows 11. It was not very open without breaking things, if I remember. Uh, yeah, uh, yeah, Lomkey. Here's the problem: Windows itself has been they have been building Windows 11 or like the Windows platform for decades. Like, it is what? The code base is 40 years old or something like that, at nearing 40 years old, going all the way back to, DOS, essentially. I don't know between DOS and Windows 3.1 how much was carried over, but if much. Uh, but they've been working so there's a lot of skeletons in the Windows closet. Like, in those windows, they're pretty apparent skeletons too, I guess, in Windows. Um, to where I believe them that it took them some work to get the, Windows 11, or like the big picture mode or Xbox full screen mode, whatever you wanna call it, added to to the, Windows, um, the newer version. Like, you can I don't think they've released it yet. I think you still have to download it as like a developer build or, at the very least, an early access, build. Um, but I really think they're really late to the game, and I honestly think a big part of this is that they were, chasing the AI game and a couple other things, with too much focus, meaning they have multiple teams. They probably had teams that weren't really working on anything really that important, and they could have worked on this. I fully believe that they could have, made handheld gaming more of a priority and actually fixed it within the first year. Uh, this is pretty much shows and Uh, and I'm sure we're gonna talk about this during Off the Console too, Gardner. But it goes to show how archaic Microsoft has gotten. They are not competitive in any way. They do not really have good turnaround times to get into certain markets. It's just all around like it's a little bit like macOS too. macOS is a little bit like this too, where they don't get into like their AI integrations suck. The greatest thing about the AI integrations for macOS is that they're kind of out of the way. It uses Siri still, and I use it for a couple of tasks. It does this job. They didn't ruin it for me. Unlike Microsoft that sunsetted Cortana, which I'm still bitter, very bitter about Microsoft doing that because I thought it was such a cool option. BT Maverick, I'm in the beta OS for Steam Deck and still hasn't shown up yet in the power settings for me. It could be pushing out to multiple decks. It could be that's interesting, hasn't showed up. Have you tried seeing if you've got the newest update? I'll be honest, I haven't tried it yet because it's not a feature I really need for me personally. I just know that it's a must have for a lot of console users, and so that translates over to this too. Um, Raichi, damn. Windows 11 is trash. 12 would be the good one. I agree with you, Raichi. I think Windows 12 will be the good one. The next good Windows will be the one where they start fresh. They keep on kind of mentioning. I think they've tried starting fresh for with Windows like the next version of Windows that they say they were working on. You know, I've heard it since 7, I feel like that the next one's going to be refreshed and they're going to get rid of a lot of baggage. And uh Windows 11 could have gotten rid of a lot of baggage, but they added a shit ton more to that thing. And if you guys have been following me for a while, I didn't care so much when I first downloaded Windows 11. It was great. It could play things. It looked okay. It felt a little bit more Mac OS, which okay. Uh, what I didn't like was once they started adding Copilot, they started changing up things. They started adding AI things everywhere. Where I'm just like, I don't want that right there. Where I'm on Mac OS right here, right now, the AI stuff they usually add is a lot less intrusive, and I can enable and disable it usually. Where and I was notified of it, and I can expect it with big because they have a big operating system update every year. Windows isn't quite that way. They just snuck it in one day. I was just saw Copilot in my Windows desktop. I did not like that. Just sneaking that in, and then they were also trying to record, sessions and all that stuff in the background while people were, without really, I think giving people enough, uh, uh, of a chance to accept that they're recording their information in the background for AI training. Um, let's see here. I'm a little behind on stuff. Was it Windows 11 was a failed project? It's been a long time. They was building something, then they turn it into Windows 11. That's kind of what happened. Windows 11, I think, diverged, and like I could just imagine the book that they could write on building Windows 8, building Windows Vista, building Windows 11. I don't hate Windows 11 as much as other people do. I just kind of tired of Windows itself at this point. Uh, Chris, ooh, he keeps on moving up, so don't mind me. So, what PC handheld 2026 would you buy now, or we should get? I changed my mind at the ROG Xbox Ally X. A little scrambled on the what I will say about, like, should you get a handheld now or wait until 2026 is what I'm gonna take that comment as. I would probably, if you have, like, the last year, or let's say if you have uh, Z1 Extreme chipset, or you bought a handheld already this year that's not Steam Deck, I would wait until 2027 personally. I think 2027 is gonna be the sweet spot. I don't see, who knows? Maybe AMD is gonna be doing a Z3. Maybe they'll do an incremental new APU every year. Their track record is that they're gonna pump that thing, 50 to $100 more. I do not have any faith in these devices not going up $100 every year. Like, it's really feeling like they're gonna just F us over. So, I have got to say, if you have a Steam Deck and you want just a little bit more power for a couple of games, which, hey, I'm there for you. I'm there with you. That's why I have the Legion Go 2 reserved. And I'm pretty sure I will hold on to that thing. Because there's a couple of games I want to play with it that just don't play well on the Steam Deck. Uh, and so it is what it is. They fixed almost all the issues that I had with it. It's going to be a little chunkier than I want, but I'm fine with that. I'm fine with having my Steam Deck and having that device and switching back and forth for portability. So, until we see 2026 change, like, around, like, roundup of devices, which I'm sure there's going to be plenty. I don't know if there's going to be one that's going to be worth it at this point. Not over what we already have with the Xbox Ally X, which is a good all around device if you don't mind having a little bigger screen. The Steam Deck OLED is still great if you're on a budget and you don't play new games often. Steam Deck OLED is, like, really good, and you're going to get a better experience. Like, play like, I'll say this right now. Sorry. um, I will say this right now. The Steam Deck is a better experience than the Xbox Ally X for games that are more indie oriented. If it runs at 40 to 50 frames plus on the Steam Deck OLED, you're gonna have a better experience than on the Xbox Ally X, hands down. The screen, that OLED really does help with some of the, with it being an 800p screen. I was shocked when I got the OLED on the Steam Deck OLED. And so, yeah, that's, my recommendation is stick with your Steam Deck OLED. If you're still just playing mostly indie games, jump up to an Xbox Ally X or the Legion Go 2, if or something similar. Like, there's a lot of good cells. Honestly, you can get a Legion Go 1, which I don't recommend. I don't like the ergonomics and a couple other things on it. But I'm hearing that they fixed everything from the Legion Go 1 with the Legion Go 2. But you can go to those if you don't already have, like, an Ally X. So else, I would probably really wait until 2027, which I think is the year we're gonna get the Steam Deck 2. Like, I'm pretty sure that's the year we're gonna get the Steam Deck 2. I'll do some more research and maybe do a video on that also. I still have other, like, Bazite videos I need to get out for you guys. BT Maverick, the let Xbox take over to make the OS, the better will be, and push the Windows team out. Ooh, sometimes it gets a little my chat will be and push the Windows team out. Everyone just thinks Windows and Xbox are hand in hand when this is the most they have ever worked together. Yes and no. I think they need. I think we're going to be needing a new generation, like a completely new generation that's not really backwards compatible, or like it's soft backwards compatible, kind of like the newest Mac OS with the M chips for Windows. But at the same time, it might not be successful. The only reason Windows is successful is they keep on supporting uh, everything in uh, all the backlogs of software and everything. That being said, I think Linux is going to eat their lunch in a few years, especially if Windows doesn't pick up the slack that they're doing. I don't know what the answer is, but maybe it's going to Unix, and they're just going to work with the Proton team to make sure it's more supported with Unix and Linux. That is, because right now, uh, I honestly think the Steam OS has more backwards compatibility for some of the older games than Windows does at this point. Because there's some games I have not been able to play on my Windows machine that I've been able to play on my Steam Deck. When I tested this out like a few years ago, I have a video of it, but it's Windows is a little bit of trouble if they can't. The only thing I think really stopping those floodgates from being released even more of like kind of wrecking Windows is for gaming, that is the anti-cheat. Let's see here. Gardner, let's see what you have to say. We've heard rumors about Steam Frame. What do you want to bet that they developed this for the frame and brought it to the deck as a freebie? I don't know. I think the timing here seems interesting. um so yeah, the Steam Frame is going to be a wireless headset, right? Or potentially a headset, could be wired, could be wireless, could be both, most likely both, but it's standalone. I think that's we're pretty sure on that. I think that they're just really I don't think this was hardware specific, honestly. I think they were just working on this for their SteamOS, which they want to be console to be a Linux console operating system that can push both. I mean, their Steam games, like their Steam client store, whatever. I would be shocked what the benefit of this for the Steam frame as opposed to the Steam Deck, meaning, like, is there more of a benefit for the Steam frame as opposed to the Steam Deck for downloading games in low power mode? I don't know. They're both gonna be portable devices. I think they both highly benefit, but maybe there could be a whole set of suite of changes that they're making for the next Steam Deck 2 that they're maybe waiting on. I think that'd be a little silly, but there could be. Yeah, be kinda interesting to see what happens. Uh, yeah. I'm really hoping Lomke and Gardner, I really hope they're not gonna drop the Steam Frame or anything else, this fall, even though I want them to. I have, I have the Legion Go 2 reserved, or whatever, it's pre-ordered. They said pre-ordered, it's been out for, like, a month, month and a half, but due to shipping and other, inconveniences, I haven't been able to pick it up until now, well, 2 weeks from now. Um, but I do like I'll sell it if I have to return it if the Steam frame comes out, but I think the latest we will know this year if the Steam frame comes out will be in like 5 days. I don't think they're gonna go well, maybe 10 days. I think once November 15th hits, we are not going to know after that this year if Valve releases anything else. Um, my wallet is not gonna be prepared for that. So maybe I need to start preparing because yeah, I have some other obligations I have to get caught up on. Um James, you should. This is from Icarus. James, you should have spent around $300 more to get the GPT Win 5 with the AI 39. Okay. Okay, guys, let's go over this. I like the GBD Win Max 2, and they've been incrementally giving that design like or they keep on using it with little tweaks, but they keep on releasing it. Um, I see there's one. This thing is a beast. I've watched a bunch of content on this now. I like that they have this attachment on the back for a battery. I think all around this is like not a bad device. I don't necessarily I'll just say it, I don't like the design. I don't like the design. It is PSP, PS Vita, and the only reason I love those devices, don't get me wrong. It's what we had. There was nothing else. I always hated always. I've always hated the ergonomics on the PSP and PS Vita. It cramps my hands like crazy. And now that I'm getting older, that does matter more and more. I don't want to cramp my hands. It's going to make it so that my hands don't last as long. I need to be in this preservation game, both for my devices and also for myself. So, uh if I was to solely use this for, like, docking to my TV and moving it back and forth and all that, then I'd probably get this. Um, because I even think man, I don't know, like, I've seen the benchmarks, guys. This is a beast. I'd have to feel it because they do like, if you look at the back, they have definitely improved it. Let's see here. I guess I haven't really talked about this on the, stream. I don't know if we've talked about this on Off the Console either. Come to think of it, Gardner. You can see the back. It definitely looks like it's more ergonomic. Like it will feel better than past iterations. But it's still got that 7-inch screen. It's got that 7-inch screen. And I'm just at that point where I want an 8-inch plus screen. As much as I really want that speed and everything. It is a beast, but uh it has a lot of really cool benefits. I've given GB a few some crap in the past, but I think this time around, like I definitely think they have some good. I mean, look at this: the micro SD expansion plus a mini SSD slot for endless storage, which is crazy. This is like the decked out device. If I'd actually almost recommend this over the Xbox LAX. Performance wise, it's crazy. It's really good. Um, even for on the go. Like I've seen like you can play some stuff at pretty like this is a much better chip, this AI Max 3095 than the Z2. Z2 has some major issues going on with it, performance wise. Uh Lomkey, the deep blacks on the OLED, so nice. It really is nice on the Steam Deck. And I kind of want that on my Legion Go 2. Raichi, the best handheld is a phone. I disagree, Raichi, because that's where they can find you. Um, that's where the government can track you all day long, and you're not going to be safe with that handheld. I'm kidding. They're going to track all those. Uh, I'm not going to say chibi. That's stupid. All those got you anime games that you play, and they will judge you. The administration's coming for anyone that plays anime games. But really, no, the best handheld, the best gaming device is the one that you have in your hand at the time. I have tried some like of the attachments for phones for handhelds or for phones. Yeah, what am I talking about? The portable controllers that you can hook up to a phone. They're just not quite good enough. I have played PlayStation. I have been a gamer since the NES. I mean, I've tried an Atari. My mom, I think, had one, like, and I tried it like at my grandpa's or something like a long time ago. Obviously, I've tried almost every iteration of every popular console, controllers and all that. And when it comes to our first person shooters, I am a sucker for a mouse and keyboard. But for anything else that's not a first person shooter that has to have good precision, I'm fine with a controller, but it's got to be a good controller. And one of my favorite controllers is the PS5. I have one right here. I just beat Chronos with it. I was great. It has the I don't think Chronos had the haptic feedback on the or the what is it called again? What the resistive triggers, but they had everything else, and it was really really nice. Honestly, um, honestly, I might even this sounds stupid because I should just get a laptop, but I might even bring this and play it with the Legion Go 2. I will also be a little honest. I have thought about getting another just Windows laptop, but it's just not the same. I gave my Windows laptop to my kids, at least one of my kids, and haven't looked back. Um, let's go through some more of these this chat. Bring back the Windows 8 team, Raichi. I think it's probably the same team, honestly. The hardware wasn't ready for Vista. The same with 11, too much bloated. Um, yeah, I mean, people have complained except for 8. Well, no, not it wasn't 8, it was 7. I think 7 was one of the only operating systems where people probably didn't complain when we switched. People always like I feel like people are becoming more and more resistant to change too. But I think that probably is the enshittification of things, and we're just getting shittier stuff. Chris, I have a couple of PC handhelds. Can we do a poll? Just want to see what people in the chat think. Chris, I will not be able to do a poll today. I do not have access to that. Sorry. I can, if you want, you can let me know in Discord or somewhere more permanent, like a comment section, and I can do like a channel wide poll. I'm always down to do those, or queue it up for next week. But I'm not in the. I don't have my mod tools readily available right now. So, is the new update feature on the no is on the not beta mode? It is. It is supposed to be. Let's see here. It is in the Steam Deck's beta and preview channels. So as long as you switch to those, the beta or preview channels in the settings, you can switch to it where you check for the updates and stuff. So it should be a little bit of tinkering around in the settings. You should be able to find it pretty quick. Um, but yeah, you switch over to beta. I honestly, you're probably pretty well off doing beta. I don't recommend it for anyone. Like if you really can just wait, then wait. But beta has been pretty safe most of the time. It's the preview, the preview. I think it's the preview one that is like the developer preview one that you gonna probably not want to switch to. Like, a lot more issues have arisen from that for some of the people. Um, Lomke, it's going to happen. You'll open the box of Legion Go 2, then you'll see Valve drops hardware news. Well, I'm gonna just post that there. Lomke, I'm happy to do my part to make sure people can get a new piece of Steam hardware, even if I'm not able to get it because my funds are locked up in a device. I have more, but I have more savings. I'm not going to put savings into this into the Steam. I'll just be happy that other people were able to get it because I dropped it. Um, yeah. The Icarus is the same size as the ROG Ally X. Yes, it technically, but people don't realize how those controllers jet out and prevent docks and stuff. Like this dock right here, this dock is not compatible with the ROG Ally X or the Xbox ROG Ally X. So this right here, and it's because those controllers go past this. Now, if this was about an inch or two taller on the bottom portion of the plate, then it would work fine. But those the controller jets out just enough to where you need a little bit more clearance in these. It's stupid. It really was stupid. When I put it in to one of these docks, and the only thing I could use to like hold up the Xbox Ally X was the stand that it came with. I was like, no, screw this. I'm done. I wasn't done with that one fully, but that was a big first step of me just being done with the Xbox Ally X. I mean, I have a bunch of docks. I don't want to get a new one. I don't want to have to deal with it just not working properly or having to get an adapter. I was just done. Excuse me. Um, Chris, well, I know that one going to get now. It's going to take me a while to save up. Going to buy it for my birthday, April. Nice, Chris. Yeah, I yeah, it really is gonna come down to it, and I'll have a video out, even though I haven't played with all of them. I've played with their form factor, or honestly, actually, most handhelds I've held at this point, whether it be at Best Buy, me buying them or whatever. But I'll have a video out in the near future of like when you should buy, what you should buy. Because I think there's some really good things on them. BT Maverick, James, did you like that Chronos ending? I did. I wish I would have played it on stream a little bit, BT Maverick. I mean, I did play the beginning of Chronos, but I got so addicted to it, I didn't want to wait until the next stream, and I didn't want to stream the past 2 days. So, so Chronos, just so you guys know, Chronos New Dawn came out like 2 months ago. It's a pretty fun game. It is a survival horror. It is reminiscent of like Resident Evil meets Dead Space meets what is that game? There's another game that it reminds me of, but really good game. I recommend it. It is also I'd give it like an 8 out of 10. Where Dead Space 2 is like a 10 out of 10 for me. I think if you're not a horror fan, I might not be at like a 7 out of 8, but a 10, but it's still like it's a fun story. Mechanics are fun. I loved it. But we can talk. I'll talk about that in another stream, BT Maverick, or when I do my next Twitch stream, which will probably be soon. We can talk about it, and I'll just try to plan it better. Lomkey, I had fine time with Vista when I had it. I was the one of the lucky ones. I've always had kind of a beefy PC, and so I've not had issues with Windows. Even with okay, Windows 11's the only exception where it got corrupted in some way, and I had to, and I would refresh the Windows. I'd refresh the installation of Windows on my gaming PC, and it would still be really slow until I completely formatted, like full on formatted that drive and reinstalled a new copy that I downloaded from the web. Did it actually fix some of the issues I was having with Windows 11? And that's by that around that time, I was like, I ordered a Mac Studio to do a lot of my work. Plus, I always need a Mac for my day job, which is I do web mobile development, and I need iOS. Um, if iOS emulation worked really well, like worked on Linux, I'd probably be on Linux right now, full time. Uh, yeah, Chris. Just let me know, Chris, in like Discord or in the comments on this. So when this is done, you can always come back and comment here, and I'll go look at it, and I'll make the channel wide poll. Okay, Gardner. What are the chances Bazite Chimera will be able to support this feature across other devices? The fact that it's part of the Steam client gives me hope, but I'm not holding my breath. Interesting. So, unless the Steam client, interesting, Gardner. So, this feature, which we haven't talked about anything else yet, but this feature working with Bazite might be able to port it over because it could be a simple change. And since SteamOS is like fully open source, right? It's just like well, it's not technically open source, but we have the um uh, the uh the code available to us. It's been a while since I've tried looking into that. But if the code's available, someone can port it over the Bazite fine. As Bazite tries to mirror more even though it's Fedora, right? So it's a little different than Arc, but we'll see. That's a good question, Gardner, and I so with speculation, I definitely think they could port it over to anything that's using the Steam client potentially, but I don't. I have a feeling that it's not that it has to be um more going on to it than just the Steam client. Installing the Steam client probably doesn't just install the feature too. Um, because it has to probably it probably deals with how good the power management of the operating system is. So whatever Linux distro slash flavor you have probably determines your power saving capabilities, like the like press the power button, shut your laptop. How well does it? suspend and resume your session, your desktop session will probably be really where it comes down to. Bazite will probably slap that this feature as long as it's like if it's a part of the Steam client, they'll have that pretty quick. If it's more a part of the operating system as like a full on update, um, which I'm kind of thinking it is because just the way it, the way that it's in the Steam Deck beta and preview channel, that it's more baked into the operating system. We might have to they might have to port it over. Gardner, I suspect it's relying on specific hardware of the deck. Well, it's going to be so as long okay, and that is another good point. If it's AMD, they could probably get it to work on Bazite. So if they really are, and I think Bazite really tries to have unity between AMD and NVIDIA. I don't know if they have features that are branch out from either one. Intel is notoriously bad for having power, good like decent power management. Like it sucked. It's one of the reasons why my MacBook Pro from a few years ago, one of the last Intel ones, still has power issues. Intel really sucks at power management uh, with their CPUs. Um, so that also plays into it. Like they have control over the hardware. Now, if Batzite wants to support the AMD version of it and like port it over from the SteamOS, I'm sure it could be done. But yeah, it's going to be heavily hardware based. And you're the great call out there, Gardner. Um, BT Maverick, when's the Xbox Ally X channel giveaway? uh honestly, if I was to do a giveaway like that, I'd have to get back into like fully and I'm working on it. It's just this next video is taking me a lot longer because I haven't touched Bazite in a little while. It hasn't changed a whole lot, but I'm trying to get my Bazite video out. And I want to have some good facts with it. Once I start getting back into my 2 week videos, then maybe I'll do another giveaway, something similar to that. But right now, I won't be able to be. I won't be doing anything like that. Once they start making like Steam Deck, I'd rather do a Steam Deck giveaway because at least I feel like I can pay $500 and you get a good device. Where $1,000, I just don't know if it's worth giving away. A BT Maverick, Lomkey. Yeah, I returned the Xbox Ally X to Best Buy. I did a poll a while ago asking if people were interested in like me giving away some old devices. Like I try them out for a couple of weeks, for months, and do a giveaway. And I think people were like, it's used, maybe not. I'm sure maybe that's changed by now. Silent BT Maverick. It had a 4 terabyte SSD in it, right? No, it did, but we don't tell Best Buy that. I was careful. You watched the stream. I mean, I might have freaked out a little bit, but I was careful. I have full confidence after testing and everything. Like anyone that gets that open box is going to be getting a good device. I didn't do out of any scrapes on it. I kept it right here and did some testing on it. The 4 terabytes right here. It's going to go into whatever device I get next. So it's just sitting here. Honestly, if I end up not getting the Legion Go 2, I might end up just doing a NAS with this or something similar, which I need to do. Lots of Silent Hill and Chronos. Yes, BT Maverick, Silent Hill and Chronos. Yes, I could definitely see that. Yes, interesting. We'll have to talk BT Maverick. Keep an eye out for my streaming on Twitch. I'll have a schedule up soon on thebrink.com, TH3BRNK. I'll have it soon. I've just been getting a bunch of other shit done in my life before I get fully invested in that. Just not the client. I think it's not is not open. Yeah. So power management has got to be in there somewhere, and it could be bridged. It could be both, but the drivers for the Steam Deck for power management are probably in SteamOS. And the mechanism to kind of like activate it is in Steam Client. But all Bazite team really needs it does not need the client portion. It really needs It depends, I guess. The software, I guess the client will have to support that too, because how does it know to take advantage of it? At the end of the day, yeah, it would have to be in the client. So it has to be both. You have to have good um, power management drivers, um, aka like for the APU in the operating system, and then whatever application you're using needs to be able to dig into those and to be able to utilize it in kind of like a low power mode. Hmm. You guys are raising a lot of good questions that I do not know. A lot of this is speculation. Yes, BT Maverick, Dan Best Buy. Self, I really hate Linux. It doesn't allow you to play certain games. Hopefully, Steam Deck 2 uses Windows or something. It is not going to be using Windows 2. Windows, I can guarantee you that 100%. Like if I the my safest bet I could ever make in my life would be, I'm not going to say that they're going to be using Steam OS, but my safest bet is that the Steam Deck 2 will not be using Windows. They have invested a decade into SteamOS, and to be fair, SteamOS is pretty good. It doesn't allow you to play some of the games. That is not Valve's fault. That's not the Linux uh, um, community's fault. That is on the developers and the publishers. Probably more publishers than anything. You need to complain to them and tell them they need to start supporting these features on the on Linux, aka anti-cheat. That's the biggest thing. That's why all the big games like Fortnite, whether you like Fortnite or not, um, I believe League of Legends, a bunch of these do not support the anti-cheat software on Linux. They just don't support it, even though some of them have in the past and they pulled it. Um, So self, yeah, it's not stupid. Linux is actually, it makes it more performant. It's why the Steam Deck has been able to compete with all the other handhelds up to this point is, and why a lot of people, myself included, like with Lenovo Legion Go 2 or Legion Go 2, I will be most likely running Bazzite on that. I might honestly, I'm gonna do Bazzite and dual boot Windows, but I'm primarily most of my gaming will be on Bazzite as excuse me, as it's more performant. I'm going to be able to get better frame rate, have a better experience. It's a gaming device. I don't care about anything else that Windows offers. Now, I could have, and I probably will do when I get the Legion Go 2, enable the Xbox full screen mode. But uh and arguably I'm going to have it dual boot because I want to be able to play some online games with some with my son, but at the end of the day, too, like with Steam Deck, you can install Windows on Steam Deck. By the way, just so you know, you can install Windows onto Steam Deck. Yeah, that's why I bought the Xbox Ally X. Got tired of the Steam Deck. I get it, self. I get it. It's not. I don't think the Steam Deck is for everyone. I don't think there's one handheld that's for everyone. Why it's nice that we have a lot of options. But Steam Deck can run Windows and you can play games with it. It's just you're not going to get as much performance, and a lot of those games need that little boost of performance and just won't run as well on Steam Deck now. BT Maverick, I am very curious to see if Valve can solve the anti-cheat on their own without the devs. No, I'd be shocked. Even if they try to emulate it, whatever they try to do, we have two options. They have to start making deals, and it might have to be, hey, we'll charge you a little less when people buy stuff from the Steam store for your game. But you got to support uh you've got to support anti-cheat. That's the way I would go. It's diplomatic, more of a true blue capitalistic kind of way to go in the sense of like, I think it makes sense. You want to make deals with companies that are like, hey, we'll lower it if you try to put some resources into this that we know aren't really important for you, but this is important for the platform to improve it. It's going to make it better for everyone. I think it's fair enough way to do that. Is it the perfect solution? No, but I think if they drop 5%, like, take home 5%, like, so s let's backtrack a little bit. Steam will charge 20 to 30%, of sales through the Steam store, and I don't know in-game purchases, but they charge that. It's worth they need the money to upkeep Steam and do everything else. If they reduce that down by like 5%, let's say 15 to 25%, and set a deal to say, hey, you got to allow two versions of it. You can upload two versions, one with one for Linux, because they're like easy anti-cheat, and a bunch of these anti-cheats do support Linux. But or maybe the other option is to I just don't know if a game would wanna support multiple versions of anti-cheat. I bet that would be a nightmare to support on the back end, but, there's they could probably go that route of having two versions, one with Linux, one with Windows, and support both those. Um, it's a little hairier, and a lot of these companies have been able to do it. I just think that Valve could probably do some deals with them to get it to work. Um Let's see. I'm just looking through chat real quick. But yeah, they can't fully solve the anti-cheat on their own. They're gonna have to work with the the people, no matter what. Uh the Steam Deck still plays more games than any console ever created, Raichi. Yes, you're right. The Steam Deck is an amazing device, especially like if I was gonna be abandoned on an island, I would want to download the Steam library if I could, or I could probably get away with just the games I have on uh, download all of them onto my device. Hypothetically, they wouldn't fit, but hypothetically, and have a generator on a stranded island. It'd be probably one of the best devices you could play games on. Gardner, IMO anti-cheat games are not worth playing, even if those games support anti-cheat on Linux level. And you do say later on that you're a good old man. Yeah, Gardner, I don't think you're a great a great case for this because you have not saying you have the games you love, indies and like some older games that are nostalgic, and there's some new games that come out, and that's fine. Like you're a great demographic for a certain demographic. Personally, I play some games that have anti-cheat. I just play them on my Windows device. I don't do it very often, but they're the games I play together with my friends. So, and some of my friends I don't get to see ever, and they're the ones I grew up with in Southern Utah. And the only way I ever get to see them again is through playing online games. So, the anti-cheat thing even does affect me, and it does matter to me. That being said, it is really frustrating that we have to even have a choice in all this. Like we don't have a choice for it to work. Rachie, I want Steam Deck 2 to generate frames even before the game's release. You're mixing so many things there. Rachie, okay, just for a heads up, Rachie is screwing around with us, but yeah, I want it to generate frames too. You don't know what Windows has to offer, like Edge, best browser in the world. Honestly, Edge isn't that bad, but it's Chromium based, so it's very compatible. Uh, but yeah, Windows doesn't offer much. Oh, and that's the other thing is like, um, with the anti-cheats, they are very invasive. They will run kernel level, essentially hacks, honestly. That has gotten some of these game companies in trouble that they've actually had their, anti-cheat hacked, and it's caused issues. So, I'm sorry, actually use AI for a good reason, and that could be for spotting cheaters and stuff like that. Let's not invade our, kernel level, um software. Like, let's not ruin the kernel level of anything. It's not good. I could have said that much better, but yeah. Uh, that is crazy that publishers like EA are starting to require secure boot to run. And just as a heads up, SteamOS does not support secure boot. Bazite does though, and that's one of the reasons why it's much easier to dual boot Bazite and Windows. People can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I believe that's what the biggest reason. You can still dual boot SteamOS and Windows. I've done it. You just have to do it a special way. Um, I want a Steam Deck that can resolve play PS8. Self problem is some people don't have a PC to change it to Windows, and it's a hassle for me to even do it all that I shouldn't have to. I agree. Like it definitely sounds like the Steam Deck just wasn't quite right for you, and hopefully they solve it with Steam Deck 2. But I can tell you right now, self, I think you're going to have a better time with the Xbox LAX. It's definitely the one I'd recommend for you if playing online games is like really important. Lomke, I am myself not worried about anti-cheat games not working. It's so many games already works for more than one lifetime one can play. Lomke, I agree. But like once again, the social aspect is important to me. And so it kind of sucks that I don't get the option to just only have a Linux computer for playing games. Plus, NVIDIA drivers suck. It's definitely pushing me more and more to AMD. BT Maverick, don't call Gardner Bryant a boomer. Okay, BT Maverick, he called. I didn't call him a boomer. You called him a boomer. He called himself a crotchety old man, which he's not. I'm older than him. He just knows what he likes, which is totally fine. I am FOMO incarnated. Uh, Chris, I would say the Steam Deck is like the godfather of OG of PC handhelds. It is it if it wasn't for Steam Deck, we probably wouldn't be getting all these good PC handhelds. Actually, that is a really good take. I don't know if the PC handheld race that we're going into, like I think I mentioned like when the Steam Deck came out 3 years ago, give or take 3.5 years ago. I was a younger man back then. I said for the next decade that we were in this golden age of handhelds and they're going to continually be improved, and we're going to have a really good handheld at the end of this decade. And I stand by that. I think we're going to have Steam Deck 2 or Steam Deck 3 by 2010. I mean, I think we'll still be on the Steam Deck 2. We'll be lucky enough to get the Steam Deck 2, but we're gonna have handhelds that can pretty much play every game possible. Uh, Give or take anti-cheat, but throw Windows on there and then that solves it. But we're in this golden age. I don't know if it's gonna last more than a decade, but we're in a golden age where pretty much handheld gaming is going to be a good focus because they perfected the laptops, they perfected a bunch of other stuff technically, and so we're just kind of entering into a great PC handheld. LoJack, welcome, welcome, welcome. How you doing, man? I want Rachie, I want the Steam Deck 2 to drive me to work. It probably can. You want me to develop that for you? It might crash, but yeah. James has a new hat. Yes, I do. I have a new hat right here. I have LoJack. If you stop by, I have a bunch of different hats. So uh Lumkey, and most of all, the anti-cheat games don't have offline mode. When anyone spends so much money into one game, the servers offline can't play it anymore. Yes, a lot of anti-cheat games though are designed for online play. So when the game starts to get old enough to where people don't want to play it online as much and it dies off, I don't like it. But yeah, let's just say I don't put as much of my time into a lot of those games as I used to. I played League of Legends a ton. I played Overwatch a ton. I've played Counter Strike. I've played a lot of online games that nowadays, like some of them require anti cheat. Well, they probably all have anti cheat, but I don't know if a few of them will play on the Steam Deck. Pretty much most of them won't. I play those games uh, for the social aspect. They're not the games I'm going to be playing on the Steam Deck. I play them on my main PC, but not everyone can have a main PC. Gardner, hey, thanks for stopping by, man. Just got to go get some sleep. Good night. Good night, man. Thanks for stopping by, Gardner. It was great chatting. You brought some good, insightful questions and answers into the chat. It was good. BT Maverick Arc Raiders plays great on the Steam Deck. If you're looking for an awesome live service game, BT Maverick, I have heard great things about that. Arc Raiders, is definitely one of those games I do want to try out. I just haven't yet. Once again, it's a live service. I don't have any friends quite right now that's playing it. There's so many other games I've been trying, and plus, you BT Maverick, you're the one. I believe you're the one that recommended me to play Chronos, and then so I started playing it, and I beat it. So I can maybe get onto something else. Uh, LoJack, just used to you seeing you in a red hat lately. A red, oh, red and blue, man. It's my Coca-Cola hat. Yeah, it was my birthday recently, and Susie got me this blue hat. So, Rachie, I want a Steam Deck that gives me the massage and do the laundry. Is the Arc Raiders going to get PvE mode? Actually, that's a good question. I'd like to know that too. Rachie, okay, Rachie, it sounds like you want. What is that robot that just like sock robot? Oh my gosh, sock robot. Not Sock'em robot. I don't know. I don't remember what it's called. This thing right here. I knew that if I searched sock robot, it would pop up with something. This thing we talked about off the console. They really gotta start getting links somewhere in here because I want to link. Here we go. This is an Xbox. No, but it's not. You could tinker with this, Rachie. Maybe you could turn this into your Steam Deck that can give massages and laundry. I'm sorry. Like he hands him the cup. I don't have the patience for that. I'd be putting that thing on the counter or on the table and be like, pick it up from there, or I would just take it myself. It's. I mean, honestly, for aging population where we don't have as much growth with kids and all that, it will be helpful, but it is creepy. LoJack. Oh, LoJack. It'll be good though. Technically, I guess. I feel like I'm the only one that likes this robot, and I don't even necessarily like the robot. I just feel like it's the first robot I feel like that's not offensive to own. At the same time, I'm just more curious to hack it and everything. Um, LoJack. Oh, Arc Raiders is a no go. Yeah, you're a big PVE person, LoJack. Chris, what do you think about the new Xbox coming out? Think they said $1,200. I did mention this before. LoJack. Nah, you'd like this, LoJack. There's not even like I've mentioned this before about the Xbox. Like my last video that did okay, but probably shouldn't have talked about the doom and gloom of Xbox. I don't think the new Xbox will sell nearly as well if they price it at $1,200. I think they will get I think they will probably get they will have their community like their community will go in half if they release something at like $1,200. First off, they probably won't be able to manufacture as many because they won't want to take as much of a risk. They'll manufacture less, charge $1,200, and it'll probably be more like a PC. So who knows? It might not matter because at the end of the day, you just buy yourself a computer. That being said, depending on what kind of PC that $1,200 gets me, I might still be kind of interested as have my Steam and all my other launchers on there and just play PC on my TV. I guess I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I think it's really early on speculation with the Xbox being super expensive. Lomkey, well, if you look at that robot, if you the guy who's using VR head to control the robot and then play their Xbox, other people house now it's an Xbox. Damn, Lomkey, you're correct. It's an Xbox. Um, so only in the beginning will it be controlled by humans as they get more and more training data in. Now we've heard promises from big tech people before. Uh, like this is a robot that is good for tasks that humans can typically only do, the human form. A vacuum, much better to just have a a robot vacuum and some other stuff. I would not trust this thing to like vacuum or mow the lawn or anything like that. BT Maverick recommended your Chronos and Abiotic Factor. Lol, I'm 2 for 2. You are BT Maverick. Honestly, you have good. To be fair, you have good recommendations. Like I think we have a lot of similar games we like. Uh, Abiotic Factor is an amazing game. I'm playing it with a couple of people, like family. Right now, I got my family going. Even got little Luke, my son, my 8-year-old son. He's loving it. It's got a little bit of blood, but you know, it will teach him about hunting aliens, I guess. Raichi, the robot is missing some ports. Oh, bold of you. I'm gonna throw this up there. Shame, Raichi, a little bit. No, bold of you to say there's not those ports and that you cannot attach. It probably has attachments. I'm not gonna say for what kind of pocket device, but it's a PP. It's PP. I guess that could be multiple things. But I guarantee you could duct tape whatever you want to that thing. So you can make whatever port you want on the Reichi. You're just not. I think you need to work on your imagination. Lumkey, wait. The robot is the new anti-cheat. See, you're cheating. It beats you on with a bat. Damn. Yeah, I mean, I guess like if they want to go that route, where they're like, okay, we programmed this robot to just beat the shit out of you if you cheat. I mean, I might be down for that. It might be like especially if you're an adult in your 20s, 30s, 40s, like using cheats, like you're no adult. You need to be whacked around a little bit. So I might be for that type of punishment. BT Maverick, 1200 will sell like 10, 15 million maybe. She never said the price. She just said premium though. I can see PlayStation's Mark Kearney called the PS5 and even the new PS6 premium as we've seen him pour on the at SSD. You're not wrong. I have a feeling the Xbox like I think the Xbox Ally X proved that they can sell things for more for more. I don't and you got to remember Xbox is an American company owned by Microsoft. PlayStation is a Japanese company owned by Sony. They're going to have different mindsets. They're going to also want to make sure the PlayStation sells well in Japan, but well, the PlayStation 5 Pro did sell for a lot. So I just have a feeling that the Xboxes people are going a different way, and it really sounds like the next Xbox is going to just be an Xbox branded PC. And if that's the case, and if they keep the price within like Asus or whatever company that they work with, then it's going to be priced for like $200 to $400 more than it needs to be, which is essentially not a console at that point. Cascoder drills make holes. Yes, they do, but they're not very comfy holes, if you know what I mean, which I shouldn't be so. How much is the robot? Chris, this is the crazy part for this robot. This is the crazy part. You can do a $200 deposit today, and it starts delivering next year, and it is $499 a month. Obviously, this is for rich people. I will say, okay, I'll say this. I'm not like rich, but I could afford this if I didn't want to have food. That's not true. I could sell my car and just use this as my car payment, I guess. I don't know if it'd do a very good job of carrying me places, but I could make it work. I wouldn't want to, but I could make it work. It'd be uncomfy, but uh 20,000 seems like a really good deal, honestly. That being said, it's like ownership with 3-year warranty, premium support, priority deliveries. I don't know what's going on with this. This 3,000, this 20,000 is crazy. It doesn't look like it works very well. I'll be honest. Like it's not going to be like it'd be something you buy to tinker with. Like if I was a multimillionaire, I'd probably buy this for fun. Because I have a feeling that I could overpower it. It's not gonna it's not gonna be able to kill me. I think that's the rule of thumb with these robots. You got to be able to take them on. So okay, guys, I cannot wait until we have a channel that comes out for robots where they test them and like, Here's the durability test, the endurance, the whatever tests, and then crush it with the hydraulic press, right? I'd watch it. I'm curious. This has got me really curious. At the same time, I also get it's a little dystopian, but I think we kind of expected the future to have robots in it, and so I don't know what to tell you guys. Like, I think a lot of us likes futuristic stuff, sci-fi, and all that. This is kind of just the step that we're getting into. Raichi, when my robot comes home and it's a boy, you don't got to discriminate like that, Raichi. I'm not gonna say what. I think I know. I'm not gonna say it. LoJack, if cannot perform a task, a human will take over. That's effing creepy. I see the potential for a lot of perverted nonsense. LoJack, you need to sit down. I have really bad news for you. Um, I don't think people are gonna do as many perverted thing like, they are like, perverted thing you can pretty much do to probably this, besides modifying its software to be a simp or not even a simp, whatever you wanna call it. They're already doing that with blow up dolls and everything else. I hate to break it to you, LoJack, but I don't think that people are gonna get too much more creative with this thing as they are with other things they already have. Lumkey, the next Xbox's new co-pilot robot, and then it takes you outside, hang out with you, and play catch with you. That is just the story for what's that one movie? It's like a kids movie where he gets this broken robot. It's essentially that. That's pretty much what the story is. Um, so yeah, I don't know. Having an AI, like a little robot thing, would be kind of cool. Oh, you can't see the pricing here. Let me see if I can fix that. There you go. Lomke, I would like to see that robot battle with robot arms coming out and legs. Robots. Yeah. Hey, I would like to see it too. It'd be kind of cool to see these robots come out with a mace and you can have battle royale with them. LoJack wants to get two of them to fight to the death. There you go, LoJack. I mean, now you're thinking about it. You're thinking how affordable that is. Battle bots would be really fun with something like this. Little messed up because it's humanoid, but it'd be interesting. Not gonna lie. BT Maverick, I'm curious what kind of PlayStation we're going to see without no inherent competition. There's no way the PS6 is going to cost less than the PS5 Pro, and AMD is starting to get a little more bold. Um, to cost less than the PS5 Pro, and AMD is starting to get a little bit more bold. I think you're right. Um, by the way, here's I'll just say this: Rockstar fired a bunch of their like 30 GTA 6 people because they were trying to unionize, but they did it for let's just say I think some of you won't agree with me. I think on this, but like I think the gaming industry needs to unionize because it is just like freaking ridiculous. But we'll see how Rockstar handles this. They're so big, though. I don't think this will be interesting. And maybe we'll talk about this in off the console. So there's just a little plug for off the console. But um, just know that for union busting, Rockstar's in a little bit of trouble with the government and blaming it on negligence or misconduct and stuff like that. It'll be interesting to see where this all kind of goes. I doubt it's going to push. Watch, they're going to use this as the excuse to we're not going to have GTA 6 next year. Um, oh, I do want to look into that more, but no. This is the last news item we need to talk about today, and then we need to bow out. LoJack, the world is full of perverts. Yeah, welcome to humanity, LoJack. It's just how it works, man. BT Maverick with their pricing. Yeah, I want my teddy bear to talk and drive me places. Oh, damn, Chris. Yeah, like a teddy bear. And he agrees with you. He's probably agreeing with me or someone. I don't know. So sorry, I'm reading shout out, and so it's sounding nonsensical. But let's look at this last little piece. Major PlayStation Portal update adds highly requested feature, and I'll have to say this: Susie's going to have an article out on thebrink.com soon, but she beat Alan Wake 2 essentially on the PlayStation Portal. I bought it because it was on, I can't remember if it was on sale. It was a good deal because it came with extra stuff. But I bought the PlayStation Portal from Costco like a month and a half ago and been playing it on and off. It's a good device. I actually really like it for playing my PlayStation, especially since I have kids. They want to watch TV, and I can play my PlayStation while they're doing that. Um, this is an interesting direction they're going. So just as like, and I will say one disclaimer: this is not for everyone because the Bluetooth still does not work. You can either have a Bluetooth dongle that hooks underneath, or you have to buy their headsets um, in order for the audio, like to use like Bluetooth or a headset that's wireless. You can plug in headphones for it. So for some people, that's fine. This is a really cool feature. So let's see here. So Sony releases a big new update for the PlayStation Portal, refreshing the UI on the home screen while also adding a bunch of new features, including cloud streaming. The PlayStation handheld continues to grow and add new features to better support how players utilize the portal. What that means is that they have a cloud-based streaming service. So you've been able to, I believe, access with like you have to have the PlayStation subscription service. I can't even remember what it's called, PlayStation Plus, whatever it's called nowadays, to play it. I do have a 3-month trial or not trial, but I paid for 3 months to try this out. It's pretty good actually. And I've been on the beta for this because I could test it out. It's been in beta, but they just released it fully. You can play anywhere in the world that you have internet connection. It used to be you could just play your PlayStation 5. Now you can play their cloud services that are essentially like digital PlayStation 5s. And you can play a lot of different games, and you can play your games that like you get that they release for free every month. And then they have a catalog ones. I think you can play those. Yeah, I think you can play those. And the catalog of online games that they have. It might be a mix and match too, but it's pretty decent. Once again, I'm kind of going away from PlayStation or these subscription services, but it's pretty cool. I bought this not like it doesn't require a PlayStation subscription. I can wirelessly stream, I think, from anywhere in the world, technically, and not have to have that from my PS5. And I bought it to play games for my PS5. Um, but it might not be for everyone. There's more to the update, but this is the biggest thing that I think is really cool is that this is essentially a portable PlayStation in all sense. You do not need a like if you really have a couple of PlayStation games you want to play and you don't want to pay $500, $600, whatever a PS5 cost nowadays. You can spend what is it, around $200 to $300 to get this device right here and pay. Yes, you'd have to pay a monthly fee, but you can play a bunch of the PlayStation games with this without having the device. I believe so. I believe you don't need a PlayStation 5 at all. I haven't tried it without hooking it up to a PlayStation, period. But I have because what I did was I hooked up my PlayStation and then I saw a feature that says you can also play games online. And so I enabled that beta feature. But I'm assuming you don't need a PlayStation for this. Uh LoJack, no Bluetooth as weak. I agree. It is really annoying, but I play it. Um, I play a lot of my handhelds without plugging them into headphones, actually, because it's just kind of annoying to switch my headphones back and forth. But I am starting to get to that point where I might be tempted to get those PlayStation earbuds for it. We'll see though. Might be tempted. Cascoder still waiting for Alan Wake 2 to be ported to PC. Cascoder, damn. You are brutal. Alan Wake 2 is on Epic Lol. My point still stands. Here's my thing. It's not going to happen. Tim Sweeney, I looked into it a little bit ago. Um, Tim Sweeney said it is not coming to Steam. That being said, I don't know if I fully believe him. I bet you there will be a point in the next few years where it will. The game is so good that you really should, even if it's for Epic, buy it for Epic and play it there. Alan Wake 2 is one of the best games I have played in years. I love it. It is probably my favorite game since Half-Life Alyx. So good. Yes, BT Maverick, Alan Wake 2 is awesome. Uh, PlayStation Plus Premium, yes. You can only play PS Portal if you have a PlayStation, no, you can play the PlayStation Portal on your Steam on your, not your Steam, on your PlayStation 5. You don't need the PS Plus Premium. If you wanna play games remotely, like, cloud-based games that is, not remotely, but, like, cloud-based games, um, like NVIDIA's service that they have too, um, you GeForce Now, I believe, um, you need to have the PlayStation Plus Premium. But BT Maverick, yes, you can play it for free. PS Plus is mad expensive. People were complaining about Game Pass selective outrage. Well, okay, I complain about both. Okay, I'll be honest. Place is with the Xbox Game Pass. I have owned that a lot longer and a lot more than I have the PS Plus Premium. I've owned both on and off over the years. I will not be having any subscription service in the near future, I don't think. So, the plus of the PlayStation 1, though, is that you get a new game or 2 every month. Or no, you get multiple games, but, like, you get them attached to your profile. Unless they've changed that, guys, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Once you, claim that, it is a part of your game library, I think even if you cancel the games the service, and I've gotten some pretty good games with it. BT Maverick, and you get less on PS Premium. Yes and no, in my opinion. I do think Game Pass is a better deal, but you still get like pretty good stuff for the PlayStation. Like if you're a big PlayStation fanboy, oh, maybe if you're a big one, it might not matter because you might buy the games right when they come out, and they don't usually come out for free on this. Eh, yeah, might not be worth it. I think subscription services have gotten out of hand, period, in this world, and I'm kind of just done with them. Who knows? I might try it again. I'm not gonna say that I'm not going to and that I'm completely against them, but I'm kinda just done. I'm fatigued from them. You do not need to pay to play the remote portion. You need to pay to do the new feature that came out, which is, uh, cloud-based. What if you own games? Do you still need PlayStation Plus or no? No, if you own a PlayStation 5 and you buy the PlayStation Portal, you can play the PlayStation Portal or the PlayStation 5 on from your PlayStation Portal, that's free. If you buy the game and pay and you have I think you can buy a game, and if you pay for the service, you can stream to this. It pay and what it does, and this is where this does not play games on the device. Device is only for streaming. This is like a small Android tablet specially designed for streaming games from PlayStations and from the cloud. What this does is it allows you to access all their servers to play the games from those servers. So it makes sense that you have to pay a monthly fee for it to pay for those servers. Their fee is a little expensive though, and they definitely could improve it, but it's not like it should be free. Soul Leveling November 24 on Steam soon. Nice, Lumkey. Oh, by the way, Stalker 2 is going to be removed from Game Pass. They had a year deal is over. It's leaving Game Pass. I wonder if Sign of the Things is coming. They have maybe not. They have games like you're gonna see the Game Pass have games come in and out, just like any streaming service. If it's a first party title, it will probably be there perpetually, especially if it's a very popular title. That being said, I do recommend I need to buy Soccer 2 still because I want to support the company. It's a Ukrainian company. They were hit bad by the war. I want to support them. I just haven't bought it yet because I just there's been so much other shit, and so out. But I do plan on buying this Stalker 2 soon. So, when you think Sony will make a portable device that isn't like the Portal, that's the problem here. And you're asking the important stuff, self. I don't know if we'll actually get it. They've talked about making a new PlayStation Portable that is a standalone device that can play games on its own without streaming. I think it depends on how well those sales go for this and their, remote play, or not the remote play, I keep saying that, for their cloud-based gaming will determine maybe when we'll get the next PS Vita 2 or PSP 2. Um, Honestly, I hope it's PSP 2. It just rolls off the tongue better than PS Vita. Uh, I could see them launching a companion handheld device along with the PlayStation 6. I think that'd be very smart for both Xbox and PlayStation 2. I think it'd be extremely smart come 2027 when they release their next consoles to release a powerful PlayStation, like PlayStation 6, Xbox 6. Why not call it that? I don't know what they're going to be calling things. And then do a companion handheld. And because it's going to be similar architecture, the handheld will probably be during that time frame as powerful as like a PlayStation 5 Lite. They might even be able to get to a PlayStation 5 level if we're lucky. Maybe just not for a good power, like it would be very power hungry. That's what I would recommend for them. And then people can decide if they want to get one or the other. And I think that'd be the best way to do it. Uh PSP Vega. Lomke, nice. BT Maverick Stalker 2 is not an Xbox first party game. No, Stalker 2 is not. That's why they had a deal. If it was Xbox first party game, they would have a deal or they wouldn't need a deal. They'd own the studio. It's not how it works. They would be making the deals with themselves. So yeah, Stalker 2 is not a first party. But it is cool that it was there. PS Vita, where the VI equals 6. I guess so, Cascoder, I'm thinking about this. I think I still want a PSP 2. Honestly, it just rolls off the tongue better. Xbox just helped them a lot during their unfortunate situation. I agree, PT Maverick. I agree. It signing that deal was beneficial to also Xbox. Don't get it wasn't completely like selfless, but I am thankful for Xbox and I bought because of what they did. I did buy. That's when I started picking up Xbox Game Pass again was when they started doing that because I really did want to support the Stalker team. I do have, even though I never beat Stalker 1 because I ran into a glitch that kind of killed my game, I got pretty far. I love the game. I love what they're doing. I like the idea of Chernobyl. I've been into some of the exclusion zones kind of in Russia because the Chernobyl, when it blew, a lot, it didn't blow, but it blew a bunch of, when they had to vent it, it took a bunch of radiation into the air and it scattered it across the west of Russia. Some of the places I lived nearby. So, like when you go out to some of those forests, they have signs did not go past this area, and it is completely quiet. You cannot hear any animals in the area, even though I guarantee animals go in there all the time. They probably get like mutated and die and all that. And then that type of mutation is just like cancer, right? So uh, this whole stalker thing, and I know Russian. My Russian's really like not great anymore, but it has a place in my heart. And then on top of that, the Ukrainian thing where they're just getting screwed and they've had a hard time with the war. Yeah, I have a place, so I'm glad the Xbox did that. Self, I actually really like the PS Vita. Not sure why they abandoned it. Because it just wasn't doing as well as Nintendo, and I think they got tired of it and they just quit. It was a really a shame because the PlayStation Vita was awesome, and they really just they had a lot of cool features for it, and they just I felt like they quit like way too soon on it. That being said, we're in this new like handheld era where Sony has to be making another like handheld PlayStation device. That being said, we're also in the streaming era where more and more people are streaming. This might be it. So I would to pretty much to close on this topic, I would not get my hopes up for a PlayStation like a PSP Vita 2 or like a PSP or a PS Vita 2. Um, but it could happen. Like, I would probably lean on this side of it happening, but don't get your hopes up anytime soon because they have the Portal. Is Stalker 2 team the ones who made the Metro games? They are not. Let's see. Stalker 2 dev. Let's see here. They make a lot of different they make a ton of Stalker games. They're very popular in Russia, actually. Um, we're gonna go to Wikipedia. Oh my gosh, did you guys hear about Grokpedia? Little special. Developer. So in here, wow. Interesting. So in I didn't know they did the Cossacks too. Weird. They have a lot of weird stuff under their belts. But yeah, in 2007, no, was it 2007? Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl came out in 2007. They even have a mobile version. Dang, it was Java Me. Clear Sky. See, you can pretty much see that they did Stalkers. They did a Kozak 3. I don't think Cossacks 3 did that well. And then they just, yeah. So we got Stalker 2. They Metro is a different company and it is based off of a book, first and foremost. Pretty good book. Didn't finish the whole thing, but pretty interesting. But very different games and different studios. Lone Key, they found out animals are types have resistance to radiation. New type animals have higher resistance. I mean, yes, they're finding more and more like different changes from the exclusion zones animals that they're more resistant. Now there's probably a lot of animals that have to suffer and die in that mutation. That's just how we that's how we survive as animals and everything. We have an environmental thing that affects us. We take generations. It is crazy that it's already generation. Like it's not even that many generations since that happened. It's been what 30 something years. Actually, it happened. Oh god, it's been 39 years. I can say that because that's how old I am, and it happened the year I was born. But yeah, the exclusion zones have already mutations for resistance to radiation, which is crazy. Stalker Series is amazing. Yes, I still need to beat them. I haven't beaten either one. Okay, Cast Coder. Before we close out, let's look at this new, or for you at least, a new Linux distro that you've been doing. I believe I've seen Kashi OS before, but blazingly fast and customizable Linux distribution. Kashi OS is designed to deliver lightning fast speeds and stability, ensuring a smooth and enjoyable computing experience every time you use it. Whether you're a seasoned Linux user or just starting out, Kashi OS is the ideal choice for those looking for powerful, customizable, and blazing fast operating system. Cascoder, why do you recommend this, or why are you using this? Why has this replaced everything for you? Why didn't you go with Bazite? You just like it does look pretty smooth. It is Cloudflare is one of the sponsors. That's a weird one. Lomkey uses Pika OS for the time being. Okay, nice. It's user friendly. Okay, that makes sense. There's so many distros, guys. It's gone crazy. And Linux developers are something else. I'll say that right now. Linux developers are something else. Interesting. Oh, they released earlier this year. I have heard about this, but yeah. Is that for the Steam Deck? It is not. Could you install this on the Steam Deck? Most likely. Will it really give you any reason over a Steam OS? No, it will not. This is for people that don't want to deal with Windows anymore. Is that you'd switch over to this is a Linux distro. But yeah, it looks interesting. I might give it maybe I'll give it a try. I've kind of conceded to I have my Steam Deck for portability. I have my Windows for like device over here that I stream from sometimes, like meaning like I stream the game to my Mac OS for games that I really want to play that are just like graphically more demanding or play online. And then Mac OS, I've been able to play some games on that too with crossover, but I try to not dive into Windows as much anymore. They're always updating CachyOS. Yeah. Okay. Good to know. Yeah, I there's so many distros, guys. Like I don't keep up with it as much. Partially just because it's fun. I used to do it a ton, but I feel like there's a new distro that comes up and it confuses people. I think that there's a lot of problems in the Linux community, and I'm not saying we shouldn't have options, but there's so many distros, so it's overwhelming. There's like 20 plus distros for gaming alone. Okay, guys. Anything else you want to chat about or want to mention before we're pretty much done here? But anything else you want to mention? Um, Normally, I would we would mosey on over to Twitch and I'd play a game after this because I'm trying to get back into that tonight. And we're gonna be for future. Also, just a quick announcement for future streams. I'm going to be moving this to 6 p.m. my time, which is 5 p.m. Eastern, and not Eastern. Sorry, Pacific, and then which is on the West, and then Eastern time it would be 8 o'clock. Excuse me. The reason why is because I want to play a couple of hours at night. So I want to stream a couple of games, and I have a couple of the ones like Date Anything, which if you, I like novel stuff and stuff that's just like bizarre too, along with horror and some other stuff. I want to play shorter games when I stream. And so we have Date Anything. We have No, I'm Not Human. Let's see. I have the Cabin Factory actually might be one I play next. The Cabin Factory is another one that was recommended by everyone. And so I have a bunch of stuff. I will have on the bring.com my schedule soon out there. I have been dealing with playing, honestly, it's BT Maverick's fault. Throw them under the bus. I've been playing Chronos a lot. Have not been able to finish up the website, but the website's going to get done in the next few days. It's just a blog again, like thebrink.com is. Games Revealed is a work in progress, and it's not going to be a blog. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know. No, I don't know. One of these days I will know. Um, yes, there are so many other Lumkey. Okay, guys, thank you guys so much for chatting with me. I love this. This is we are going to continue to like making this like a Let's Chat. So if people want to like as I release videos, do other stuff, this is primarily for like you get in touch with me, we chat, we get to communicate, be in a in a I guess healthy enough relationship. I guess I don't parasocial is as healthy as it can be. But I love chatting with you guys on here. We're gonna continue doing this. I'm gonna go back and forth between news, between projects I'm working on, a bunch of other stuff. This is mainly for us to just chat about and have some fun. What do I think of Dispatch? That would be a good game to play. I have not. Let me look up Dispatch real quick. It might be one I've played or I've looked into. Oh, Dispatch. Okay. I'll add this to my list and we'll look into it. I'm not against it. Thanks for the thanks for the heads up on that. I threw that into my wish list. Maybe this one will play. So, but it is on a different channel. I find that if I mix too much games with, funny enough, with Games Revealed, it hurts the channel. If I play games and do other stupid things on like Twitch or the Brink YouTube channel, which go back and forth on all those, the separation helps. I'll check it out, man. Thank you. And catch you guys in the next week or in my next video. Peace out. Later. Once again, thanks for stopping by.